everyone, my name is Junon. I have a health science background, and I'm the author of the book Truth and Empathy, How to Find Your Soulmate. And I'll put a link to the book below. This video is an MBTI, romantic compatibility analysis between ENFJs and INTJs. I think most people have asked themselves the question, who's the best match romantically with another person based on certain characteristics? And I think that MBTI is a good starting point. So let's look at what they have in common. Obviously, they're both intuitives, and they're among the most intuitive of all the personality types. So they have introverted intuition either as their first or second function, which means that when they're gathering data, they don't pay attention to the five senses as much as what is beyond that. So they tend to get more of a download of information more than having to go step by step and using logic to get to an answer. So often when people aren't that intuitive, they often know the answer even before even asking that question. So this is something that can be kind of confusing for sensors, but not for the INTJ or the ENFJ. The other point is that obviously they are both judges, which means that they are reliable, reachable. These are people who like to plan. They don't like surprises, especially when it comes to their day-to-day tasks. So in other words, these are people who like to have like organized surroundings, but also in terms of their money management. So you'll see that they're usually good at it. They're not people who like to take risks, although they are obviously intuitives, but it's not linked to being reckless when it comes to their finances or even organizing their life in general. So they're the people who like to be really stable and solid. So people they will enjoy that about each other, so they know that this other person is going to be there when they need them. The other aspect is that because they're both intuitives and judgers, these are the type of people who like stable long-term relationships. So they're not into one-night stands or short-term flings. So this is not something that they will go for. So they will see that in each other and they will appreciate that. The point that might be really difficult with this pairing is that obviously one is very right brain dominant because the ENFJ has extroverted feeling as its first function, and the INTJ has extroverted thinking as its second function. So they are at opposite ends. So it's a very feminine energy that is trying to have a relationship with a very masculine energy. So they want, be able to understand each other that way. And when it comes to relationships, the people who are right brain dominant usually are naturally gifted, whereas the people who are left brain dominant have a hard time in understanding subtleties about the relationship. So what you'll see is that the ENFJ will probably make most of the compromises to make this relationship work. Something as simple as maybe they won't say, well, they need maybe more physical affection, or even in terms of sexual arena. In other words, the ENFJ, because this person has extroverted feeling as its first function, they really want to bond and connect. So they might, just put their, needs and desires in the background just to please their partner. So they might not get what they really need in this relationship. So you'll see that because of the fact that the INTJ being a masculine energy is less flexible than the ENFJ, so you'll see that there might be an imbalance there, and the INTJ not being really in touch will not even know that they're not meeting the needs of their partner. Because the ENFJ is an intuitive feeler, the theme of their life is meaning and spirituality. So they are interested in topics that have the human condition or the human element in part of it. Whereas the ENTJ is as an intuitive thinker is more focused on the objects. So in other words, these are people who are about the abstraction of the concrete, which is very different from the unintuitive feeler. So in other words, the subject of conversation might not coincide, so they might not feel that they can really explore what they really are interested in. So you'll see that with the INTJ, in terms of their relationship style, it is about effectiveness. So it's a masculine, orderly type of relationship style, whereas the ENFJ is the feminine one. So it's a feminine and orderly, which has to do with being close and actually they want to bond with others, about connectiveness. So they are not behaving or having the same needs when it comes to their relationships. So that might be a real issue there. So for all these reasons, I would say that the combination of the ENFJ and the INTJ might not be good, especially in the sense that the ENFJ has introvert thinking as its fourth function, whereas the INTJ has extrovert thinking as its second function. So even in terms of being able to logically look at a situation, they may have an issue there, in the sense that the INTJ might even be borderline and maybe having Asperger's syndrome, so they're not really in touch with their feelings. So in other words, they won't be able to talk about math and science, which is the areas where the INTJ is very interested in exploring. So that might be a real issue. So for all these reasons, I would say that yes, they're both intuitives, they're both judgers, they are reliable, reachable, they want a stable long-term relationship, but I would say that most likely the ENFJ will not be fulfilled. The INTJ might not even recognize that the relationship is kind of rocky, but I would say that often the feminine energy, the right dominant person will make more compromises, and there might be an imbalance in that relationship. So all these, I would say that it's not a good match. You can let me know if you agree or disagree with this romantic compatibility analysis by commenting below. If you enjoyed this video, if you liked it, please click on the like button, subscribe to my channel, and we will talk soon.